So I just want to do a short, quick to the point kind of message. I'm going to try a past, present, future spread. So what's being left behind, what's going on now, and what do you have to look forward to in the future. This differs than my normal 5-card spread, just because I want to get something quicker out, something simpler. And since I have the house to myself, I thought that I would take advantage of it because it's really, really strange to do readings when there's other people home. So with that, what is going on? What is being left in the past? We have community, free will in reverse, and diligence. What's kind of crazy is since I've started posting videos for YouTube, I have 100 cards in this deck. A traditional tarot deck is 70. I had to keep the title card in, so it's 79. This particular one has 2 title cards, both a forward and or a reverse and an upright one. So this deck even has 70 or 80 cards in it. So I still have gotten some of the same cards throughout the day. And that's kind of crazy. I mean, if you really want to think about like actual percentage rates and what is it, the probabilities of that happening, it's pretty slim. So if that's the energy that keeps coming out, I mean, I guess we'll take it. Right. Community, free will, and diligence. To me, this is like somebody giving freely to a wrong situation. Or choosing to make... It's a very similar message to what I've been getting a lot of. Somebody keeps choosing to put effort into something that's not for them. Someone keeps trying so hard to make something work, make some community work, to make this collaboration work. Somebody's trying so hard. They're defending their options by trying. They just keep putting in effort to try. And I feel like this is what happened when I moved to Connecticut. No matter what I tried to do in Connecticut, it just didn't work. I wasn't meant to be there. That place wasn't for me. Which is why it's kind of funny. So, other side note is that now I really don't give a shit what anybody thinks about me anymore. If you think I'm crazy, go ahead, think I'm crazy. If you think that what I do is bogus, that's fine. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions. So the way that I say things, I'm not going to tiptoe around anything. If it comes to my brain, I'm going to say it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. If you dislike it, then I'm probably going to, remove you. Really what it comes down to is I'm not against disagreement, but if all you're going to do is be negative and have nothing nice to say, get out of here. Get out. I don't want you here. That's really aggressive and that's really abrasive, but that's just like the energy I'm feeling right now. I don't mind skeptics. That's not the problem. The problem are the people who look for the one little thing to discredit. It's like that math problem or that teacher who put, 1 times 9 equals 7 on the board, and then every other one after that was correct. So 2 times 9 is 18, 3 times 9 is 27, 4 times 9 is 36. But everybody only focused on the first one that was wrong. And so there are a lot of people that just want to tear you down, and there are a lot of people that just want to focus on the one thing or the minor things that you've done wrong and completely negate all the good things that you've done. And if I'm going to be completely honest, aside from litterbugs, those are my least favorite people on this planet. Like, if I never ran into one of you again, it would be too soon. Because if all you want to do is prove someone wrong, that's fine. Your misery loves company, mine does not. So, with that said, just based on these cards that have fallen out, again, this is my deck that's come out. Yes, he's having such a hard time. And that's actually 2 Nine of Swords, because in my deck, free will that's flying right now is also the 9 of Swords. Somebody willingly went into something that probably wasn't the best choice. They went into it thinking that it was going to be stable, thinking that it was going to be a solid transition, a solid collaboration, a solid community, like-minded people. And they put a lot of work into it because they really thought that this was it. But they just keep finding themselves, 9 of Wands, very defensive. And I actually have 3 9s right here. So each of my cards have their own numbers, so I'll provide those too. So we have 61, 89, 44, 48, 83, 13, 75, and 27. So those numbers, I don't know if they resonate with you. That's just what's here. Maybe it's the year you were born. Synchronicity card. This is my synchronicity card. So maybe one of those, somebody was born, you know, maybe it's a child, a friend, whoever. Maybe that's how old you are. We have lucky number 13. Anyway, somebody thought that they were doing what was right. Tower on the bottom. It wasn't, and it's going to leave them defensive. It's going to leave them constantly struggling, constantly battling to withhold this line, this ground, to this is what it's doing. Nightmares, stress. I mean, this is how I felt all day. Today's a really, really strange day. And it's funny because someone said that if you wear white, it's supposed to like really illuminate you and you're supposed to feel bright and happy, and black is supposed to be really closed off. No. I love black. I love wearing black. So I feel, since I switched actually to a white shirt on earlier, since I switched to black, I feel so much more myself. So maybe I'm just dark. Defense, the King of Wands, the person who took action. He is defending himself against his own idea. He was like, look, I have this great idea. I'm going to go do it. And kings are leaders, authority, masters. So this person is someone who has probably gone out on leaps and chances before, or maybe similar ventures before. Maybe not quite like this one, but they're like, yo, I'm doing this. And off they went. And they're like, I've done this before. I can figure this out. This is going to be great. Everything is going to be awesome. And now that they're in it, because this is actually kind of like a little bit separate than the other ones, now that they're in it, I don't think it's going as planned. Because with introspection in reverse, somebody else is looking at their plan close. And introspection came out in reverse in my last reading too. Literally the one I did like 3 hours ago. You can look at the clock in the other video. So introspection came out in the other one in reverse as well. So somebody else is reevaluating what they're up to. And somebody maybe, because this is the Ace of Wands, we got 2 wands right there by 2 different levels of people, different mindsets. But considering it's all wands, I'm gonna say that it's the same wand, the same idea that they were pursuing. It's just maybe it was a small idea and they thought it was a big one, or maybe, you know, it was only this thought out when really it needed to be this thought out. You know, it's the page versus a king. That's a very, very different dynamic. And level of capability, ability. So I feel like somebody maybe is just trying to defend their decision, even though they're being kind of immature about it, and really they need to lead themselves back to where they go. So with introspection and inspiration in reverse, both of them, somebody is looking in, and I feel like with inspiration in reverse, the Ace of Wands in reverse, somebody is feeling inspired to make a change. But I feel like it's the kind of change that they were supposed to make this first time around. I feel like they're trying, right now they're in this position, and they're trying to do this again. And as long as they don't see it as going backwards, it's going to be okay. I mean, nobody wins a chess game making only forward moves. So in this adventure that is life, anytime that you're on a track and it doesn't go as planned, don't think of like taking a step back from the big goal. So the analogy I'm getting, it's like, if you have a pretty serious job, Maybe you're, an account manager or something like that. And you find that maybe this isn't what I want to do, but I still need to figure out what I'm doing while my life is, while my life is still unfolding. So somebody who knows what's not for them, and maybe they go and get like a waitress job, hypothetically, or, just something a little bit more, just buying time. They'll see it as buying time. Maybe they were a lifeguard their whole life, so they're just going back and getting a lifeguard job to fill the gap while they're in transition. And that's what I mean by nobody wins a chess game by making only forward moves, because if it's not for you, if you're already the manager of a company, the best scenario you can make is becoming a manager of another company. And maybe that solves your solution. Maybe that solves your problem. But at the same time, you're just signing up for more of what you don't want. And yes, you can give it a new company, or you could sell a new product, or you could represent a new client, or whatever it is. But at the root of it, it's still the same things that made you unhappy in the first place, that made you want to change from that role, responsibility, whatever it is in the first place. So I feel like somebody is ashamed, because, the next things out are pride and vacillation. Somebody is ashamed to step down, because it's not that I don't think that they can't do it. I don't think they want to do it. And it's not until they went within and kind of figured out that, like, oh, my inspiration is, I'm driven to do something elsewhere. I'm driven to do something different. My inspiration, it's not that it isn't there, it's just not for what I signed up for. And that's okay. So can I get some cards to clarify what this means? Because, introspection reverse. What is this person who's gone within? What are they inspired for? Love. So this is strength and the Knight of Cups. One of the meanings of the strength card is unconditional love, because it's a lot of taming the beast. If you couldn't tell, it's a lot of taming the beast. And what's interesting is that this cup, or this knight who's pouring out his heart, that's what the Knight of Cups does. He's bringing you a proposal, he's bringing you an offering, he's bringing you his emotions. He's serving you his emotions. I think somebody realized that love is always going to win. And love, this doesn't have to be a person. This doesn't have to be a person. It could be a love of a thing, a love of a place, a love of a dream, I want to say, a dream. And maybe part of that dream, because dreams doesn't have to be just one thing. A dream could be a whole way of living, a whole way of being, a whole way of doing. So it's like in your dream, you go to this job and you come home to this house. You have these kids and this person waiting for you. So it's bigger than just whatever it is the dream is. And that not necessarily, but that's how I feel this is. I feel like it's a bigger situation, especially with the complete emotional fulfillment here. That's what the Ten of Cups, the rainbow, is like, oh, this is everything and everything is awesome. So I feel like somebody's just, their love for whatever the original wand was, they just took a detour to come back to realize how important that is to them. That one original wand. And wands are actions, so it's something. It's not necessarily a thing, it's a way of doing something. Because wands are action. They're action-based. Fire. Passion. So, with that, in the future, we have pride. I already have a couple of flippers, but we have pride in reverse. So somebody else is too proud to say that they were wrong. And vacillation. Vacillation is also, actually, we have two universal laws back to back. So, the universal law for my pride card, and rightfully so, Penny has some things to say about it, is the law of gender. And the law of gender states that masculine and feminine energy needs to be in balance in order for manifestation to take place. So it's somebody where, you know, if you're too nice and too sweet and too in your feminine energy, you're probably going to get walked over. But if you're too, you know, authoritative and firm and stuck in the mud about something, you're probably going to be really... You're not going to allow the way it's supposed to unfold flow. And that's why it requires a balance. So somebody is out of balance. Somebody else is out of balance. And this is card number 75. Law of gender. And with vacillation, somebody's trying to figure out, should I stay or should I go? They're out of balance, but should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? Should I pursue what I want, or should I keep putting on my big boy pants for something I don't want? Should I keep being the manager of this company that I don't want, this work that I don't want to do, and let it crush my dreams every day? No. That's not what this life is for. And if you're on my channel, if you're listening to anything I say, I mean, I have this internal battle every day of scrapping everything I'm doing and everything I've done and just going back to a normal 9 to 5 where I choose, you know, to work as hard as I want or to settle or, you know, it sounds terrible to me. I can't do it. I know I will never go back to a normal 9 to 5 life. I will never go back to an office. And I know that there's another way around it. There has to be. And because I believe it is, I believe it's so, I know it's true. I know it can happen. Have I found it yet? I'm still searching. I will not say no. I'm still searching. And I will find it. I promise you. I'd pinky promise you, but you're on the other side of the camera. So with that said, I really do want to clarify these. So pride. I forgot to tell you. Vacillation, the law for vacillation is frequency. And the universal law of frequency is that everything has its own unique vibration. So that's actually really important, because what I feel compelled to share right now is that in all of our divine life destinies and plans, okay, and all of the things that we are meant to do on this earth, and I feel, I mean, if you want to talk to me about how I feel the world and past lives and moving forward and souls and spirits works, we absolutely can have that conversation. Feel free to get hold. My contacts are in the description box below. But everything has its own frequency. Everything has its own path. And I think it's really funny now that a lot of people get made fun of for being sheep. I am the black sheep. But a lot of people, we use that term sheep because they're followers, you know? And generally there's a shepherd who's leading all the sheep. The thing about the law of frequency is that when you realize that nobody else, yes, people have experienced similar things to what you have experienced, but nobody is you. And I know what it means when people say nobody is you and that is your superpower now. I know what that means because nobody has experienced the same exact shit I have in the same ways. Yes, it's a template. Yes, we've learned similar lessons. But the wrongs that I've had done to me and the people that I've had betray me, and even the good things too, I'm not going to negate those. But what I need you to understand, and the reason why I feel so strongly about, you know, being persistent in finding another way to do things, is because my own life is my own experience on this world. It is nobody else's, and that's the frequency. I am my own frequency. All my actions, all my decisions, all of the energies that I come in contact with, whether I embrace them or I send them away, however you see it, I am my own frequency. And I attract the life that I am destined to live based on my own frequency. And what's made for me is not made for you. I'm not saying I won't like what's made for you, or I won't appreciate giving the chance to accept or access the same things you have. But what I'm saying is that those things don't make me, for example, happy. It's like that, I keep coming back to that keeping up with the Jones things. Like, I don't give a crap about what the Joneses are doing. I don't care. And it's taken me a lot of humility and a lot of throwing my pride out the window. My ego is gone, which is why this is not as scary to do anymore. to kind of recognize that and to really embrace the idea that my life isn't yours. And that's why what's possible for me may not be possible for you, but it doesn't mean that you can talk me out of it. You don't have my experiences. You don't understand why I think, feel, or see things this way. And I probably won't ever be able to accurately explain to you why it is I feel that way. So for somebody to come in and say, well, if you can't do this because such and such and such, in their experiences, that may be true. But in my experiences, that couldn't be further from the truth. And instead of just sitting there and saying, well, no, I can do this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm persisting. This, blah, 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 blah. I would rather just say, watch me. And I feel like this person right now, maybe they are trying to maintain their level of pride. Maybe they are trying to be this important person. But they'd rather just go pursue their own stuff. And the vacillation is giving up the title. Why are you going in and out of focus? Sorry, camera. My camera is, my camera. But this person that's vacillating, I feel like... Nine of Wands again. They've been enlightened of the truth. And so now I feel like the vacillation is just, when and how am I going to swing this sword of truth? I'm sick of defending this way of doing things. I know what I want. I know what's for me. I see it differently now. Time to go to war for myself. And that can be really, really, really scary. But in my experiences, life starts being best. That sounds really, really rudimentary. Life starts to be what it's supposed to be when you honor your preferences, when you live through your truths, and when you spend your time in all of the places that you want to be. Because by doing those things and being your authentic self, you are a happy, whole person. You're not living for other people. You're not carrying other people's responsibilities. You're not dealing with problems that aren't yours. And a lot of stresses come from people who, think about, I just remember at the dinner table when I was young, my dad would come home and he worked for the state. And he would just talk about all of the frustrations he's had at work. All the people that were freaking idiots and all the people that were taking away his, the funds that he needs to work, and they're repositioning people so he's losing his manpower. All of these things that happen in the 8 hours that they're at work still trailed him home. They'll trail you home, and they impact every moment of your day from the moment you walk into the office till probably the next day when you walk into it. And that happens every single day. Okay, that's getting kind of off. Anyway, some people are better at leaving their work at work than others. I know myself. I know that I have a hard time doing that. And so when I was a mental health counselor and I had people that were really struggling with some symptoms and stuff like that, I had a really hard time not carrying that home with me. And it forced me to really compromise my own quality of life, even though I wasn't getting paid for it. And so one of the reasons I feel the way I do about health insurance, aside from being a health major, is the only reason I feel that your company pays for it is because they're the ones that are knowingly killing you. Stress kills. Stress will kill you way faster than chocolate cake ever will. Stress may kill you faster than cigarettes will. Stress and cigarettes, which is a coping technique for a lot of people. And I say coping loosely because, we can go on about addictions in a different day, but really addictions are a release or a way to escape whatever you're in that is causing you angst. Anytime that you can find a substance that can relieve you of this feeling, you're likely to embrace it. And if you work for the state, and really if you work in a role that you don't want to carry all the responsibility for, you probably feel like this a lot more than you like to admit. The good news is that the only way you can fix a problem is by recognizing it. Recognizing it and deciding that you want to do something different. So I feel like in the future, that's what this person has. I feel like this person is putting their pride on hold because they know themselves now. They understand what it is they need to do differently. They understand what it is that can get them off of this defensive way of living. And now it's time to be the king of their own sword. And not the king of somebody else's ideas and responsibilities. The king of their own cuts, their own choices. Can I get one more card? One more card for the outcome. Separation. Somebody needs to leave something behind. Someone just stuck that King of Swords. That King of Swords just shoved his sword right through the heart of something else. And so here's the thing. Oh, here's what I love. And we got another king on the bottom of the deck. King of Pentacles. What I love about this is a lot of people carry this role and this mentality, even though they want to go off and do their own thing. They carry this role and this mentality because they feel that they are so important to their company. They feel like nobody else can do it. There's no other person who can do what they do. And that's true. Nobody can do what you do your way. However, you are replaceable. In any company, any corporation, unless you are the founder, you are replaceable. You are absolutely disposable. And whether you leave or not, a lot of people are like, oh no, I can't leave. Then it all falls on my coworkers and blah, blah, blah. How many times have they been able to use the line, it's not personal, it's business on you? And if you're cutting your losses because you want to pursue something that makes you a better person and therefore the world a better place, because remember, if you're in a good place, any encounter with anybody after that is a better one than if you're going at it like this and you have all these roles and responsibilities and stressors, and dinner at home, like it was with my dad, was just full of stresses. I feel like this guy down here is like the company head, or I feel like this is like some kind of corporation thing. I don't know. But the company head is probably really miserable because they didn't think you'd ever leave. Maybe they made you feel... Why does my camera keep going in? I don't know. Maybe they made you feel really, really important and didn't think you'd ever actually leave. But if you leave, they're going to replace you, but maybe they're going to have to replace you with somebody who actually needs to get paid whatever you were supposed to get paid, and they were paying you less because they could. Because maybe you applied for this job, and then you worked your way up to this one, responsibility-wise, but then they still didn't want to give you the credit you deserved, so you cut them out. It hurts the company, yeah. But using your sword to fight your own battle is what it's for. And anybody who's left kind of hurt from it, it's not personal, it's business. And it's never wrong to pursue what's right for you. It's never wrong to pursue whatever it is that you want to do for you. And I stand firm with that. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to go as planned the first time around. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that. I'm still learning a lot of those right now. It's not easy. My camera doesn't seem to think so. It's not easy. But if life is going to be miserable, I'd rather it be on my own accord than somebody else's. Because then I know at any time I can cut what's not important to me and what I'm dependent on that isn't working and move forward in my own direction. So I feel like right now somebody just needs to move in their own direction. Their pride, they've already recognized that whatever title, whatever responsibility, whatever image, facade, project they're working on, they're not proud of it. It's not worth the work they're putting into it. And maybe they're vacillating on what to do about it. And you King of Swords that shit. You leave. Use your sword. Cut the cord. And I think that's all I got to say.